Saagar Enjeti over at Breaking Points has obtained the police documents from the Henderson Police Department pertaining to the Israeli official who serves in Benjamin Netanyahu's government. He's a cybersecurity expert. He was caught up in a pedophile sting operation. Now, we have more details about what he was attempting to do, how he got caught. It's an incredible story. So here's what the declaration of arrest from the Henderson Police Department says about the arrest of Tom Alexandrovich, again, an Israeli official who was allowed to fly back to Israel immediately after he was caught trying to lure a minor for sex in an FBI and local police department sting operation. Take a look.
You could see Tom Alexandrovich, the date and the time of his arrest, which was August 6, 2025. You will see that he was charged with luring a minor using technology. Some of the details, guys, here is that it's a classic kind of undercover sting operation run by the FBI Child Task Force and the Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. That was a joint operation that they launched on August 6. What we learn effectively is that an undercover operative began to pose as a 15-year-old girl on two different apps. One of them is called Pure, and later on using WhatsApp. What they found is that Tom Alexandrovich engaged in a conversation with what he believed to be a 15-year-old female juvenile and, quote, spoke about sexual contact with that minor. The user then later agreed to meet the decoy at a predetermined location. The sexual contact included, quote, bringing a condom and taking the decoy to Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas.
So these details are important because it proves, now there's clear documentation that he is showing in that video, indicating that this Israeli official was in fact caught. He was in fact arrested, like the 7 other individuals who were arrested as part of the sting operation, but he was treated very differently. And we also have some clarity on the age of the decoy. Basically, he thought he was luring a 15-year-old girl to essentially have sexual relations with. Obviously, that's against the law. The Cirque du Soleil information is, all of it is just disgusting, right? Like all of it is so gross. This is how these people operate. But Cenk, before we get to more revelations of this arrest, what do you think so far?
Look, we're all not surprised, right? We all know that the 7 Americans were gonna be in a lot of trouble, and that the 1 Israeli was gonna escape. Like, are Israeli supporters pretending that they're outraged by that? Are they pretending that they didn't know that was gonna happen? We all know that the Israeli was gonna walk, right? And in fact, they probably know it so well. This is why, I think that if we don't do something about this, I don't know that they're doing it now, but if we don't do something about this, what we're telling them is any Israeli can come here, rape our kids, and get away with it.
That's exactly right, yeah.
That's just a literal fact, right? Because, I don't know why in the world we let him go. We all know why, right? But there is no technical reasons to let him go. Is there a bigger flight risk than a guy who was trying to rape a young American girl who works for a foreign government? Obviously he's gonna leave, right? Who in their right mind would let him go? Who says, hey, we've caught 8 people trying to rape American kids. 7 of them are Americans, so they need to go to prison. But 1 of them is an Israeli, so he should obviously be freed.
Crazy.
That's just, this country is not Romania, or Israel. This country is America.
Right.
So if you're an American, you're in a lot of trouble, and you should be. If you're an Israeli, get out of jail free card. In fact, it's not just about pedophilia, guys. Then Israelis can come here for sexual tourism, for criminal tourism. They can come in, they can just come and take your goddamn, they could just take
do whatever they want.
They could do whatever they want to Americans.
That's the message.
And just leave.
That's the message being sent. And by the way, we're just scratching the surface here, because what this guy was involved in professionally while he was in the United States is very problematic, especially given Israel's history of spying on America and Americans. So with that in mind, let's go to the next clip where the FBI and the Henderson Police Department ensured that they got this guy to identify himself. That's an important part of the sting operation. Take a look.
Prior to the meeting, photographs of the subject communicating with the decoy juvenile were obtained. The suspect advised they would be arriving in an Uber Quote, while the undercover operative was in contact with the subject, being made aware in the area of the predetermined location, task force operators contacted this person who they knew to be arriving. Quote, every attempt was made to positively identify that user that had agreed to sexual contact. That subject was then identified as Tom Alexandrovich prior to being contacted. What they say is that Alexandrovich was placed under arrest. He was transported to the Henderson Police Department. Due to the aforementioned facts, they say they determined based on the undercover communications with the phone number and everything that Alexandrovich did indeed, arrive at this location with the intent to have sex. What then follows is an extraordinary interview with a lot of claims being made that undermine a lot of what we are now learning. So what they say is that, quote, upon Alexandrovich's arrival, he engaged in a recorded interview and he waived his Miranda rights, as they say very clearly. The interview was then conducted at 2000 hours on August 6, 2025.
Okay, so the interview is telling because he discloses quite a bit. How he behaves and what he says while he's under arrest is really fascinating. So just real quick, why don't we just go to the last video here, and you'll find out how he communicated, how he might potentially entirely skirt any consequences for attempting to have sex with a 15-year-old girl in Las Vegas.
He advised, due to being from Israel, the Israeli consulate would be notified. So do you guys see immediately they're talking about notifying the Israeli government? This matters because the Israeli government initially denied Alexandrovich had ever been placed under arrest, when the police department is saying here explicitly that he is, of course, being notified to the Israeli consulate. Alexandrovich stated he has a meeting with the NSA tomorrow and had met several bureau people and NSA people over the past week. So let me just underscore that. This man is here in our country on behalf of the Israeli government to meet with the NSA and with the FBI, and in the meantime gets caught up in an FBI sting operation where he is allegedly, I guess, for the legal record, trying to meet up with a 15-year-old girl for sexual contact. Stated, quote, he was embarrassed for being arrested. This is where things get very interesting, guys. Quote, questioned how much bail would cost while he was under arrest. Stated that he was in shock and someone he needed to contact immediately about his international flight back to Israel.
So the Israelis tried to act dumb about the arrest of this Israeli official, and it turns out they were fully informed about it. The Israeli consulate was informed about it. And on top of that, he also told authorities that he had already met with several FBI and NSA people over the past week. Alexandrovich was attending the Black Hat and DEFCON conferences at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center in Las Vegas. He stated that he was actually in the US quite often. 3 months ago, he was here for a crypto conference in New York City. He comes to the United States 2 to 3 times a year. He stated that he uses the name Adam to chat on dating apps, and he used the Pure app when attempting to lure the decoy who he thought was a 15-year-old girl. And so this guy is meeting with members of our intelligence community, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. And keep in mind, the Israeli agency that he works for hasn't fired him. He's on leave, and it appears that they're trying to provide cover for him.
Of course they are, of course they are. So look, if you wonder why we say things like whenever the Israelis are talking, they're lying, this is another great example of it. As soon as he's arrested, the Israelis put out this information. Oh, you got the wrong guy. It's a mix up in identity. It's actually an American with the same name. He doesn't work for the Israeli government at all. Meanwhile, you see the actual police report. They know definitively that he was with the Israeli government. In fact, he's the guy who is one of the creators of Cyberdome and has won the Israeli Defense Prize. They definitely know he worked directly under Netanyahu, okay? They're giant liars. So that's why quoting, we should stop doing it, ever quoting the Israeli government, because it's almost guaranteed to be a lie. Okay, now you go to the heart of the story. So all the authorities knew that he was talking to the Israeli consulate. So now we come to culpability on our side. So it's not like, oh, it was a quick thing, oh, they didn't expect it, and oh my God, their dragnet caught an Israeli government official, and before they knew it, he was released and he was gone. No, The cops knew, all of the authorities knew, the FBI knew, the Israelis want him back. So, and he's a child predator, right?
Yeah, yep.
So they made an active decision to give him back to the Israelis.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right.
So that is unconscionable. So look, sometimes this happens for other countries as well. You might remember famously after 9/11, all the bin Ladens were immediately flown out of America back to Saudi Arabia. Why do the elite get different rules than us? An elite of not our country, but of different countries.
Foreign countries.
So bin Laden's in Saudi Arabia, whose family member did 9/11. Oh, by the way, also randomly, or maybe not randomly, several hundred Israeli spies were rounded up after 9/11 in America.
Oh, no, you don't talk about that. You don't talk about. I mean, there's FBI files about it that are readily available online, but we got to pretend like that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You're being anti-Semitic.
No, it doesn't matter. It's a stone cold fact.
It is a fact.
And my question is, why did we return the bin Ladens, and why did we return Israeli spies? If we know they're spies, why don't we keep them and put them in prison? They're spying against us. Who releases spies that they catch spying on you? So they could literally spy on us and get released. They could rape our kids and get released.
Yep.
I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad stole our nuclear secrets and walked around like a dandy. I mean, what is this?
He was publishing textbooks for our schools, our public schools.
So look, the liars in mainstream media can say anything they want, but they know our facts are true. Right. They could say, yeah, your facts are true, but your facts are anti-Semitic. Your facts are true, but you should shut up and be arrested, right?
No, thank you.
Okay, no, I'm not interested in that. And now that gets to, oh, by the way, great job by Breaking Points. Way to go, Saagar, okay? Terrific reporting, and that's why online media is infinitely better than mainstream media. The mainstream media guys wouldn't, you know why they didn't get it and Saagar got it? Because Saagar tried and they didn't.
They barely even covered this story.
How do you not cover this? How is this not 24/7 on cable news?
This is a huge scandal.
Okay, because cable news and mainstream media is not in the business of doing reporting, they're in the business of doing propaganda. So they look at this same report and they're not outraged like Breaking Points is and we are, and maybe Tucker Carlson is, etc. No, they look at it and they're outraged at us. They're like, you're supposed to cover that up. You're supposed to cover it up for the Israelis. Anti-Semite, God damn it. Now we're accusing all of America of anti-Semites. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And it's sick and it's gross and we're tired of it. All right, now last thing on the heart of this story. So Anna, you're right. We're working on cybersecurity with the Israelis?
That's such a terrible idea.
Are you mental? Of course they're gonna put in bugs to learn all of our secrets. And then when we catch them, guess what we're gonna do? Release them back to Israel. I mean, the Israelis are legendary for spying. They're legendary for betraying their allies. They're legendary for putting things in products that are either bugs or bombs.
Yes.
And we're letting them touch our cybersecurity, and then we have these nonsense conversations about, oh, is China getting someone's handle on TikTok? Did Russia do 4 million impressions on Twitter back in 2016? Meanwhile, Israel's like, we own you, bitches.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, oh, we're so sorry, Israel. And by the way, you don't have to be like, I don't know why people defend this. If you're an Israeli, why would you defend this son of a bitch? Like, I always use my own example. As a Turkish American, if you caught a pedophile here in America who's Turkish, I'd say, give that guy life.
Yeah.
Why? Why would I? Who cares about your stupid ethnicity? Are you an American or are you not an American? Okay, anyone defending this guy's a pig. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.